they're pitching on the off edge, and we did hit some balls, but he were ready to have players on Wednesday night there, and they had some, and that's where baseball goes. So little boot singles are sometimes better than line drives right at people. So you never know in this crazy baseball game. But we're happy to be here, happy that the rain showers that were around the southern region early this afternoon is gone. Last minute things put together here. We got the Brocton lineup now. This is going to be should be a good contest. We're hoping for good things. Looks like we're going to be starting with Austin White on the mound today, at least to start with. And I don't know, with the Brocton team the last time around, I believe that was when we did pitchers by condition. We did an inning apiece. And I don't know, that would seem to be maybe a way to kind of attack this game as well. But I guess we'll see what the coaching staff has to do.
And Grace trying to I think other than maybe start the game, and we'll be curious to see how here at facility ground you're talking about it before we came on the air. Nice baseball facility. Sound issues that we're going to work through, but this is kind of our test trial before we get to the playoffs. So hopefully everybody enjoys it and bear with us. We definitely have we got tech support here working around the clock to make sure everybody's able to see.
And that's exactly right. Around the clock, texting going back and forth. Even did the radio last night, trying to make sure once again, thank you to all the sponsors of this camera, if this thing pans out, is going to be a real asset for the playoffs. It's going to be able to bring the live to every place that we're going to hopefully go. And also, a shout out to the sponsors that have already signed up for the playoffs. And for those that maybe haven't signed up yet or haven't been contacted, don't be afraid to reach out to the radio station, try and build this at 98.9 Corry, let them know if you're going to be sponsored. Hopefully a fun, long run in the playoffs there for the CSP team. Certainly is all the fun. Yeah, hopefully Brian that's great. Ball strikes. Title, I believe. Yes. As we start the game out with Austin White with a shot to a shortstop, it goes off the end of the glove and it's going to bounce toward third base. Austin hit that one real hard. The shortstop had to run to his right and it went off kind of the end of it. So Austin's going to be aboard.
Hey, your turn 12. Your turn 12.
Hit pretty sharply.
Hey, line drives all day, kid.
The shortstop had to his right and not able to make the play. CSP leadoff runner on base here in the first.
Line drive hit by Bryce, and off that hold up safely in the second. First. We're starting off the game at 2 singles here. We got runners on first and second. Audio issues inside. Well, we're speedily working on it. Hinsdale.
Oh, hey, Jonah. I didn't know you were coming. I don't know, I
Runners now in second and third, no outs here. Game up the bat.
Second, third now, no outs. Top of the first inning. No score yet. And third in first, right?
Not a lot of speed on that pitch, Brian, but it's got a fair amount of movement for those. And we'll see it. You got it. Get a sense of that as you're. Anything on the ground here, CSP is wheeling. No place to go other than forward here. So we got anything in the air. Everybody's tagging up, particularly Austin at third base.
All right, our technical crew indicates that we have some success. So I think we are audio and video capable now. So if anybody says anything different out there, please shoot us a text
let us know.
Or come in on the Facebook page. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Micah, and keep us up to date about what's going on out there. Honestly, the folks listening on Facebook are sometimes our best source of information here, so keep it coming. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Micah. Bases loaded, no outs here. Micah pops one, foul, straight back. Just misses the bleachers here behind us.
Almost a souvenir for us, Brian.
Almost. We got extra parts here, but that's okay, as long as it's working. any good project. Once again, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Micah. No outs, bases loaded, top of the first inning here. And Micah hits one pop fly towards center field. Should be deep enough for a sacrifice. The ball, good arm from the center fielder. It's going to be cut off by the pitcher, but that's going to be deep enough to score Austin White from third base, and it's going to move Bryce over to third. So job well done for Micah, an RBI. Would like to have seen something a little more direct and maybe a little more line drive-ish, but nonetheless, he gets the sac fly, and we got our first run of the game.
Yeah, good job by Mike. I agree, Brian. Something it's probably not exactly what Micah wanted, but he did the job, got the run in, and good job by Bryce making his way over to third. And credit to the center fielder. That was a good throw by the center fielder into home to limit.
And there goes Gabe, and the ball makes its way away from the catcher when he was trying to get the relay back to second base. Now Bryce slides in, and now that's our second run on pass ball, and Bryce scores. Gabe moves himself over to second base, and now we have a runner in scoring position once again. Trent Burchanowski at the plate. 1 ball, no strikes to Trent. 1 down here, top of the first, 2-0 CSP over Brocton. Once again, we're thankful that we don't have the deluge of rain like we had over in Chautauqua Lake the other night. I got a little nasty.
Well,
at the
not
end.
only were we getting wet, Brian, but the ground that we were standing on was very soggy. And
Trent Burchanowski with a shot down to third base. Third baseman can't get in front of it. It makes its way over to the left fielder. That's going to score Gabe from second base, and that's going to give Trent a stand-up double.
Good piece of hitting there by Trent. It was a hard hit ball down the third base line, and wasn't able to be played by, or the play was not able to be made by the third baseman, and kind of went in no man's land out of between third and left field. So good speed on the bases by Gabe, and that gets Trent to second base with 1 out here for CSP in the top of the first.
And we haven't talked about it a whole awful lot here today, but Brocton is starting an 8th grader on the mound and a 9th grader at catcher. And we've seen this combination from a few other schools. So lots of youth coming up through in the Class D schools for sure, including CSP. But they're awful young. But as we've seen, that does not really mean that they're not experienced. So good ball players. 1-1 now to Curtis. Olson is he comes to the plate with Trent standing on second base. 1 down here. Top of the first, 3-0 CSP. And Curtis chases one. Breaking ball that kind of got Curtis tied up just a little bit there. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Curtis. And there goes Gabe down toward third. And
Trent with a stolen base.
Trent with a stolen base, stole third. Catcher was trying to get the ball out of his glove, just kind of got stuck in there just a little bit, made the play a little easier for Trent to advance. No throw down there, but now Curtis just needs to get a little boop single or something, pick himself up an RBI here. 2-2 now to Curtis. And pops it back out of play.
Important here for the Brocton catcher, Brian, to knock everything down with Trent and a fair amount of speed at third base. Any pass ball here, you would think would put the 4th run for CSP on the board. So, asking a lot of a 9th grader to block the plate, but that's what he's going to be asked to do here.
And it's going to be balling outside. Full count now to Curtis. Probably hear the wind in the microphones. Nice south wind. It's nice and warm. So, there's one on the inside. That's going to put Curtis on. Honestly, we've not had this particular vantage point at too many games this year. We are literally feels like right on top of the plate. We got a great spot to watch the game here.
Yeah, it is a great spot, and from all accounts, Brian, and again, as you mentioned, we want feedback from those on Facebook watching. But from all accounts, it sounds like the new video is working out well.
That's good. As Curtis makes his way over to second base, Dylan Michael at the bat takes one in the dirt, 1-0 to Dylan. Dylan going to be playing left field again for us today. Dylan has had himself quite a season this year, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's been playing. He's been playing well. He's been playing consistently well from game to game to game, and that's going to be important. And we've talked a number of times about it, Brian. There's really no let up in this lineup, even at the bottom of the order.
Yep. And ball 3 outside. Dylan also is pretty handy with the glove out there and left. He's had a couple that might have gotten away from somebody else, and he has made some acrobatic catches out there this year. So it's good to see that. As have a number of CSP players. It's been a fun season. There's one. On the inside corner, 3-1 now to Dylan. He was taken all the way on that one. Once again, 3-0 CSP over Brocton, top of the first. One down here. Runners on second and third. Dylan Michael at the bat. 3-0 to Dylan. And that's going to get him. So Dylan's going to reach, hit by pitch. They are working that inside corner just a little bit and have been pretty much the entire game. Gabe had one that was close. Curtis had one that was close. That one did nip Dylan. And I think that coach from Brocton maybe has seen enough already from the starting pitcher. And we're going to have a pitching change here, just like that. So Michael Garcia is going to give the ball up to, I believe, Jeremy.
Aiden Gatto, I think,
Aiden
Brian.
Gatto, correct. Aiden Gatto, number 4. Yep. Aiden Gatto is sophomore, so a little bit more experience maybe. 5'9", 125-pounder out of Brocton.
Well, and that was a tall ask for an 8th grader in Garcia to start a game against, I would arguably say one of the top teams in the state in Class
actually,
D.
I had that flipped. Garcia, the pitcher, was a 9th grader. The catcher, Raytheon Santiago, is an 8th grader.
Okay.
So 9th grader thrown to 8th grader. Now we got 10th grader thrown to 8th grader.
Yeah. So either way, 8th or 9th grade asking to start a game against a stacked, fairly heavy lineup of CSP, and that's a tough ask. And to be honest with you, the kid made the CSP players hitters, and had a couple. I would maybe argue a couple on the infield that he could have asked for some. He would have liked some help from his defense.
The very first pitch, Austin White ripped one down toward shortstop, and he was half a step from making that play, but it bounced off the end of his glove and over toward third base, and that's kind of the beginning of the rally, and that happens. That's baseball. Even happens in the big leagues more often so than in high school. In the big leagues, those guys make an error, and that almost always generates a run.
Yeah.
Just
errors and walks.
Errors and walks are just lethal, and it just is the way it works. You get guys on base, give them a free pass, whether it's via an error or a walk or hit by pitch or whatever it happens to be, and it does generally come back to bite you. So we got a seating meeting tomorrow, Kyle. I'm being told that there are 7 teams in the Class D section. So I believe the CSP team is going to have an automatic bye on Tuesday. So we will be playing our playoff game on Thursday as a yet-to-be-determined team. But I believe no matter what happens and who's in and who's out of the playoffs, our game will be a Thursday night game as we get ready to return to action here. Tate Catney's called strike one.
And I believe, Brian, based on a schedule that I saw today, that will be on Thursday night in Clymer at 5 p.m.
Okay. Tate reaches for one. Straight up in the air, long ways in the air. The 8th grader Santiago puts it away. The catcher camps underneath it, and that's going to retire Tate on a pop-up to the catcher. That was in the air a long time. Catcher did a nice job kind of staying with it because the wind is blowing up here a little bit, so that's going to be the second out of the inning.
Yeah, good. It's a much needed out for Brocton. Now Ian Dunwall comes to the plate for CSP, looking to get a hit here. Not last thing we want to do is strand the bases loaded here in the first.
There's the ball, a little high. Didn't mention at the top of the broadcast, Brocton comes in with a 4-9 record, so they played 13 games. CSP's 12-1, so we've also played 13 games. So both of us, I'm sure, we're hoping for a little closer to 20 by this point in the season. But once again, for those in the area, it's been a pretty remarkably wet spring.
We're probably lucky, Brian, to get 13 or 14 games in, to be honest with you.
Thanks to Gowanda, honestly. There's one hit to shallow center. Center fielder's on a dive and hits his glove, but bounces out. A for effort out there by the center fielder. Just couldn't quite haul it in, but wasn't for lack of effort.
Yeah, that's Caden Emke out, I believe, Brian, in number 2 out in center field, and he made one heck of a play. And that ball actually was in his glove for a period of time, and when he laid out for that and landed on the ground, it just popped out. But good effort by him. Good hit by Ian Dunwald, scoring.
Curtis and Trent in.
Yes, scoring 2 there.
So that moves Dylan Michael over to third base, and once again first and third. Ian Dunwald on first, Dylan Michael on third. As we round the wheel and we come back to the top half of the top of the order here, and the score is 5-0 CSP over Brocton. 2 down here, still top of the first inning, and Austin White is the 10th batter to make a plate appearance here today. And there's a ball high. Fake throw by the 8th grader, and Ian Dunwald in safely. So second and third now for Ian and the Wolfpack.
Austin with a hard hit single up the middle in the first inning, and ultimately ended up scoring. So
there's a good looking curveball right there. 1-1. And there's one down the left field line. It's going to go foul outside of Coach Marino. Austin trying to take that one inside out. Just missed. That was would have been an ideal spot. That would have likely scored a couple runs, but just goes foul.
Yeah. Yeah, Austin a little late on that one, and but had it been fair, that would have been a nice little hit.
Yep, that one got him looking. Same spot as the last pitch. He'd like to let that one go, and got called out looking. So that's the third out of the inning, and that's going to put an end to the CSP first, but not before we put 5 runs across, and we did leave 2 on base. But that's going to be 5-0 CSP as we make our way to the middle part of the first inning. We will be right back.
Podcast on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by J. Edwards Insurance. With offices at 9 East Main Street in Panama and 800 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, J. Edwards Insurance is an independent insurance service providing auto, business, farm, and homeowners insurance. We treat you like family. Online at jedwardsinsurance.com. Best of luck to the Wolfpack this season from J. Edwards Insurance, serving New York and Pennsylvania since 1957. Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
In baseball, these are the moments that bring us to our feet.
But the most important moment happens when we all stand together.
United for a great cause.
So join Major League Baseball and stand up to cancer
as we stand in honor of all loved ones affected by this disease.
I'm Jordana Brewster.
I'm Candace Patton.
Joe Manganello.
I'm Matt Damon, and cancer has in some way touched all of us.
Visit standuptocancer.org/MLB.
Stand up with us.
Coverage of CSP Wolfpack Baseball play-by-play is provided in part by Damon Energy. Since 2019, Damon Energy has been serving southwestern New York and northwestern Pennsylvania with energy solutions for your residential and business needs. The Power Perks Rewards program as well as the free energy program are available for both electricity and natural gas. More info at damonenergy.com or phone Craig at 716-490-7694. Best of luck to the Wolfpack from Damon Energy.
Hey, welcome back to Brocton as we are making our way to the bottom half of the first inning. CSP enjoying a 5-0 top of the half. So a good way to get started for the Wolfpack here today, Kyle, is our tech expert has now got us set up with an iPad over here, and we got a camera on the screen. We are, look out, Dan Schulman. We're coming after you, buddy. We're trying to make it so we can interact with the Facebook folks. Kyle really likes doing that, and
I'm a man. I'm a man of the people.
He
Brian.
is exactly
a man of the people.
He is nimble-fingered Kyle for sure. All right, as we set the lineup here, typical CSP lineup. The difference is Austin White's not pitching, and Tate has taken his spot at third, moved Curtis over from third to short. Other than that, the lineup pretty much is the same as what we typically would expect. As Austin takes ball one. Aiden Grotto, the leadoff batter for Brocton, playing second base for them today. And call on the outside corner. Excuse me, Aiden Gatto. There's no R.
Gatto, yep. So this is a nice situation for Austin to come into. He's got a 5-run lead, and he knows he's got a really good defense behind him. And now he's ahead early in the count to the first batter. So, good situation for Austin. As we commented early on in the game, important for CSP today to not form any bad habits and to play good defense as we're heading into the.
That one drilled right up the middle.
Good piece of hitting.
Piece of hitting right there. That one was hit right by Austin, and a line drive hit to center field, and that's going to put the first Brocton runner on base for the afternoon, courtesy of a single for Aiden Gatto. That's going to bring up the catcher, 8th grader Ray Santiago, and looks like he's certainly finding a home behind home plate. We'll see what he's got for the bat.
Yeah, not only do they have him behind home plate, Brian, but they have him batting second in the order. So that would tell me that he's been having a fairly good year and has been producing out of that number 2 slot.
Takes the first one outside, ball one. Once again, bottom of the first, no outs here. 5-0 CSP over Brocton. Runner on first. Santiago, the catcher, up to bat. There goes the runner. Bunt. Micah quickly fields and throws over to first for the force out. So we got one out of that. That's probably the smart play there for Micah. But he did get the runner over. And so the sacrifice for Santiago, his job was well done. He got the runner in scoring position. And well done by the Wolfpack to get the out.
Yeah, he did what the coach asked him to do, which was advance that runner. And on that bunt there, hit the plate and bounced forward in play. Mike made a great play. We get CSP gets an out, and now we face the number 3 batter for Brocton.
Well, high and outside, Caden Emke, the center fielder, who had a couple of nice plays in the top half of the first. One would have been a Sports Center highlight deal there that he dove out and almost made.
Where can my son watch?
And foul. Back over behind us here onto the tennis courts, for those of you familiar with Brocton. It's all nice here and compact. We got baseball here, tennis courts behind us, football field to our left, and it looks like soccer and softball behind us. So we've said beautiful facilities up here in Brocton. I really enjoy coming up here. And there's one hit pretty hard towards center field. You got Gabe on the run out there, and he comes up with the catch. And Gabe stretched his 5'9" frame out and snow-coned that just as he was starting to slip out there. And I wasn't sure if that ball actually bounced out of his glove, but he came down with that. So great athletic play out there by Gabe Roth. And honestly, that's why we like him out there.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Brian. That ball was well hit. And Gabe had a lot of ground that he needed to cover there, and he made a fairly difficult play look relatively routine, other than his fancy footwork there at the end. But yeah, and
I think it caught him surprised how hard that ball was still coming at him. I think he thought that was going to be more of the bloop variety. But that thing was still on the rocket ship as it got to him.
Yeah, it was very well hit.
Yep. Ball low, 2-0 to Ryan Laredo, the cleanup batter for Brocton, playing shortstop for them today. And Ryan is a senior.
I believe he's got a brother, Nate Brian, that plays for Brocton as well.
There's a swing and a miss, strike two. We'll put this little lineup right between us here. 13 games into this, we're still kind of getting our desk space figured out here. We're getting it, folks. 2-1 now. Foul, straight back. So that evens the count at 2-2. Once again, 2 down. Runner on second. Bottom of the first inning, 5-0 CSP over Brocton. As we now enter a little sunshine into the formula here, which we like to see.
Turning out to be a really beautiful night.
Gorgeous night for a baseball game. Curveball, got him. Good pitch there by Austin. That thing came in a shoulder height and just fell off the table right in for a strike. And Laredo with the big swing and miss, so that's going to retire the Brocton first inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. And we'll be right back.
The 8-9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned, Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
This Wolfpack broadcast is brought to you in part by Arlene's Dutch Kitchen Restaurant and Becky's Bakery at 104 East Main Street in Sherman. Arlene's offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Becky's Bakery features Amish-style baked goods. 716-234-4002 or Arlene's Dutch Kitchen on Facebook.
If you could do something today that could save someone's life, would you do it? If it didn't cost you a dime and only took a little time and could literally save a life, would you do it? Can you believe that only 3% of people say yes to this? How's that possible? That's the real percentage of people who give blood. It's something you can do whether you're a millionaire, middle class, or completely poor. There's no fee and it's easy to do. And you can literally save a life. Let's roll up our sleeves and make a difference. Give blood. We can do better than 3%. Learn more at redcrossblood.org.
Funding for coverage of CSP Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by First Place Auto Glass of Jamestown. Owner Glass Tech Robert Leonard from Panama installs automotive glass and works with all major insurance companies. We thank First Place Auto Glass, 716-450-0847, or on Facebook.
And welcome back here to Brocton, New York, as we get ready to start off the second inning here. CSP up 5-0 over the home team Brocton Bulldogs, and we're going to send Bryce Hinsdale to the plate to lead off the inning here, and Brocton's going to stick with their sophomore pitcher Ryan Gatto, and we'll see what we got here for the second inning.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4 hitters for CSP.
Pretty deep fly ball to right center field. The center fielder parks underneath it. I believe that's your guy Emke. And that's going to be a fly out to Bryce to center field to start the second inning. But got pretty decent lumber on that. Just wish there was probably a little more line drive variety.
Yeah, he probably, I agree, Brian. That was a little similar to what Micah had back in the first inning, where he got a little bit underneath it and made good contact, just a little bit underneath the ball, and makes it for a relatively easy out for Brocton here to record the first out in the top of the second.
And Gabe quickly up, 2 balls, no strikes. Base is empty, 1 down here, top of the second inning. And that one makes its way to the backstop.
Be important for Brocton here, Brian, to have a relatively easy inning after that 5-run first for CSP to gain some confidence back. They would want a relatively efficient inning. I say that, and Gabe walks to first base on 4 balls. So gives us our first base runner of the second inning and brings Micah Willink to the plate.
Micah looks down to third base coach Marino to get the sign, see if they got a play on. Gabe goes. First pitch. Throw a little wide down to second base. Gabe's going to be in there with a stolen base. So now we got a runner in scoring position for Micah. 1 ball, no strikes to Micah.
A lot of speed on second with Gabe, so anything out of the infield is more than likely scoring a run. And we saw Trent steal second to third already back in the first. I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Moreno tries to do the same thing with Gabe.
Micah hits one hard toward the shortstop. Shortstop's properly in front of it and throws it over to first base, and that's going to retire Micah. Gabe does move over to third base, but that's going to be a 2 outs now as we come to the number 5 batter for the Wolfpack, Trent Burchanowski. Trent had a nice double in the first inning, and he reaches for that one, pops it back here onto the tennis courts, out of play.
Yeah, Trent helped the pitcher a little bit there. That ball was fair amount outside and kind of chased it, but fought it off. Tried to put bat on the ball, and so he'll be down 0-1 here early in the count.
There's a called strike on the outside corner. 0-2 now to Trent. Man, a lot of technology here all of a sudden, Kyle. Holy cow.
Yeah, we got high tech real fast, Brian.
And there's a line drive to center that's going to score Gabe from third base easily, and that's going to be the second hit of the day for Trent on a well-hit ball to the center field. And that's going to put the 6th run of the day across the plate for the Wolfpack. Trent with a good piece of hitting there.
Yeah, that was a well-hit ball right back up the middle, and
especially since he was down 0-2.
Yeah.
That brings Curtis Olson to the plate. Reached on a walk and scored in the first inning. Throw over to first base. Trent's easily back. And there goes Trent towards second. It's not going to draw a throw. The catcher couldn't get out of his glove quick enough, so that's going to advance Trent to second.
We've encountered this a number of times this year, Brian, and we've talked about it a number of times. It's tough for an 8th grader to be behind the plate and to make that throw to second base to try to get somebody. We've seen that a couple times, and Santiago looks like he's going to be one heck of a baseball player, but just needs some.
Ooh, and there's one off the pitcher's backside. He turned. Didn't take it into the chest. It took it off the back, but we're going to have a timeout here. And that was a well-hit line drive right to the pitcher. He might have got the wind knocked out of him there a little bit. And everybody's going to come around to make sure he's all right. He obviously, that was a full-force line drive by a senior. And, man, that's scary.
Yeah, that ball was really well hit, Brian, and it didn't hit the ground or anything. That was a line drive right back at him. So hopefully he's to your point, luckily he turned a little bit and it hit him maybe in a safer spot than what it could have been, for sure.
Got the ribs, not the kidney. He looks like he's going to try and stay in the game. He's checking the throwing motion out. But, man, you can hear that thing thud clear back here. Really nothing you can do. It was just a line drive off Curtis's bat. And he did the right thing, and he tried to get away from it as best he could or else catch it. They're asking to see if he can throw a couple in, and absolutely. Yeah, round of applause.
Yeah.
He's going to try and stick it out here for the sophomore from Brocton. That was a pretty healthy line drive.
And now that it appears to be okay, Brian, he probably saved a run.
He did too, because
that ball was going to go up the out to the outfield,
yep.
and Trent would have easily scored. So
yep. Yeah, Trent, because of the way it fell off the pitcher, he didn't have a chance to try and advance at all.
No.
Curtis made it to first fairly easily. But, Trent wisely stayed at third. Good. I'm glad that he's able to stay in the game.
Yep.
Looks
like he's good to go, Brian.
Yep. Hate to see that, but kudos to him. Wow, that was a shot. Now the problem is he's got to face a batter, and he's thinking, oh, this guy's going to hit one line drive right back at me too.
Yeah. We want to thank everybody for joining us online on Facebook, and want to welcome Adam Collins, Brocton fan on, and helped him get online today to see some of his family members play.
And there's one to the fence. Trent stays at third. Quick work by the catcher held Trent. Curtis does make his way over to second base. So now second and third, with 2 down here in the top half of the second inning.
You know, Brian, I'm always a man of the people here, and your sister-in-law,
yes,
without even prompting to be asked, proceeded to tell us that it's 95 in North Carolina today.
Well,
so, I mean, normally we ask for that stuff, but now she's just at a point where unsolicited letting us know.
I believe, Subu, you're coming up here in a month or so, so don't be surprised at your sleeping arrangements when you get here. Called strike 2. 1-2 now to Dillon. 2 down here. Top of the second. 6-0 CSP over Brocton. And that one curves just on the inside. That was a pretty good pitch. Evens the count at 2-2.
Base hit here more than likely scores 2, Brian. So this is a big spot for Dillon, and he's been swinging a hot bat here recently. So.
And that one makes its way off the plate, and that's going to score Trent easily from third. That one didn't quite make it to the catcher. That's going to plate Trent for the second run of the inning, and that's going to move Curtis over to third base. And that's going to be full count now to Dillon. 2 down here. And it's going to be high and outside. Dillon's going to take his base. That's going to bring Tate back up. Tate popped up to the catcher to his first appearance in the first inning. Let's see what he's got for us in the second. Tate has had some quality at-bats here lately. That one's low and outside. Fake throw by the catcher, nothing doing. Dillon's in safely to second base.
Yeah, and if you're Brocton, that stolen base isn't
Doesn't bother you.
You're really focused on the batter and trying to get the CSP batter out. But if you're Tate now, you know you've got 2 ducks on the pond here to with a base hit scores it, and
he's got a batter's count too, 2-0.
Yep.
And there's one back to the fence. Bounces quite a ways back toward the plate, so Curtis stays at third. There's a pretty good-sized pole right in front of us here, right directly behind the plate. And it hit close enough to that. He got a pretty healthy bounce back toward the plate. But that's going to make the count 3-0. There's one down the middle. Was taking all the way, as he should have been.
Yep. Now he's seen it. Now we'll see if he can drive one to a open spot here and score a couple runs. And
he digs after it smartly. I think that was close to being a strike, so that was a good defensive swing by Tate. Even the full count now, 3-2. 2 down here, 7-0 CSP, top half of the second inning. Runners on second and third. And Tate blasts one up the middle. Good piece of hitting there by Tate as it enters out to the center fielder. That's going to be 2 RBIs for Tate as he makes the big turn at first base. Another key hit by Tate Catney's.
Yeah, good at bat there for Tate. Got out in front of it. Pitcher fought his way back to a full count, and Tate saw a pitch that he liked and drove it to center field.
And I got an eyeball on Tate over at first as they make the throw over there for the speedy ninth grader for Panama. Safely back. That's going to bring up Ian Dunewald, who reached on a single in the first inning. 2 down here now. And Tate goes. Throw by Santiago. Pretty good relay out there. Just couldn't quite get the glove on that. Tate makes his way over to second base and is in for his first stolen base of the night.
Yeah, nice throw by the catcher for Brocton, and just couldn't apply the tag. And Tate with a lot of speed, and just a well executed play by both teams there.
0-2 now to Ian. And there's one off the catcher's shin guard. Makes his way over to first. He throws to first, but he misses. And so Ian's going to be aboard via the strikeout, but the drop third strike is going to put Ian on board, and Tate's going to come around from second base and score on the wild throw from the catcher over to the first baseman. So Ian's going to strike out, but he's going to be on first base. So the inning continues, and that's going to bring us Austin White, top of the order again here. Ninth batter of the inning.
Yeah, second straight inning, Brian, where we've batted around, and both innings have scored 5 runs each, 10-0 here, and that ball's well hit
to the right field. Short porch out there. The right fielder makes a heck of a nice over-the-shoulder grab.
That was a great catch.
Great catch out there. And that's going to retire Austin, but I'm going to hardly want to write that one down as an out.
I think that's Anthony Gatto out there, Brian, in right field, and great job by the
yeah, that's what I have. Yep, Anthony Gatto.
8th grader, Brian, making that catch.
Yes, sir. I don't know. Austin hit that pretty well. That's just a product of a good play from a young outfielder out there. So, hey, that's the way this game works. We'll be right back as CSP is holding on to a 10-0 lead over Brocton as we enter the bottom half of the second inning. We'll be right back.
Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned, Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Support for coverage of CSP Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Triple E Manufacturing in Sherman. Triple E offers equine products, promotional items, embroidery, and printing services. 800-295-4282 or online at tripleemanufacturing.com.
Funding for this broadcast on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by J. Edwards Insurance. With offices at 9 East Main Street in Panama and 800 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, J. Edwards Insurance is an independent insurance service providing auto, business, farm, and homeowners insurance. We treat you like family. Online at jedwardsinsurance.com. Best of luck to the Wolfpack this season from J. Edwards Insurance, serving New York and Pennsylvania since 1957. Coverage of CSP Wolfpack Baseball play-by-play is provided in part by Damon Energy. Since 2019, Damon Energy has been serving southwestern New York and northwestern Pennsylvania with energy solutions for your residential and business needs. The Power Perks Rewards program as well as the Free Energy program are available for both electricity and natural gas. More info at damonenergy.com or phone Craig at 716-490-7694. Best of luck to the Wolfpack from Damon Energy.
And we welcome you back here to Brocton as we enter the bottom half of the second inning. CSP with a 10-0 lead over Brocton as they're going to bring Christian Garcia to the plate. Christian playing first base for them today. We weren't really sure what the plan was for the pitching. Austin White is remaining the pitcher. There was some talk that it might be a pitcher by committee again today, but so far sticking with the junior out of Clymer as Christian takes a swing and a miss, strike one.
Christian, one of only 2 seniors on this Brocton squad, so I'm assuming he's one of the leaders of the group here.
Absolutely. Probably maybe, depending on if he was on the team as an 8th grader, could have been a part of that deep run in the playoffs a few years ago. That
yeah,
Brocton
that's
had.
right.
So I know the year Lucas was a senior, which would have been 19. Brocton ended up second in the state in Class D. So a lot of talent up here over the years in baseball. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Garcia. Got him on the outside corner looking.
Yeah, that pitch, Brian, every batter has had a little issue with that pitch, thinking it's outside, and it may be outside, but it's been consistent out there.
Yep, it starts on the outside and it curves outside even further, and that's just a nasty pitch by Austin. That's just all there is to it. If they're going to give it to him, just keep it right there. And there's one fouled straight back to the fence here. You know, and we talked about this the other game, too, in multiple games throughout the year. You know, the umpiring staff here in the Stockton County, you know, obviously everybody's got a little different size strike zone and where it's located and all that stuff. But, man, just keep it there, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Don't move it. And they do, in my opinion, a pretty good job of doing that. There's one down the short roller over to Tate Catton. He's at third base. He makes the ground play off with his glove and the nice arm over to first base and retires the batter. So that's going to be a 5-3 putout. Nice play over there by Tate.
Yep, freshman to freshman there for CSP. Freshman third baseman Tate Catney's to freshman first baseman Bryce Hinsdale. So we'll see. We've talked about it before, but we should see that combination for at least the next 3 years.
It's going to bring number 23 Damian Franklin to the plate. See, pops one up. I think the wind's going to push that one out of play. Micah makes a play for it over here, but that's going to be off the pavement onto the tennis courts over here at Brocton. The wind blowing right straight out of left field, so any chance that thing would have had was being pushed by a fairly strong wind. 0-1 now. And a line drive shot out toward Gabe in center field. He's going to be safely in there with a single, line drive single for Franklin.
Yeah, he made really good contact there, Brian, and didn't pop it up. He used a line drive and right over the pitcher's head, and gets Brocton their first base runner here in the second inning. They're going to try to have a little 2-out lightning, bringing number 3 Jeremy Weisner to the plate.
DHing today for Anthony Gatto, the right fielder, I believe. So that's the way I got it written in my book anyway.
Brian Weisner, a 9th grader, 6'2", 245. This kid's going to be he's a big boy. So
serious. It's 9th grader. Yeah. Yeah. Big.
He's a big kid.
He is a big kid.
I would imagine that he's on the Brocton. Well, I think Brocton plays with Westfield in the fall in football, right?
There's your tight end right there.
Yeah.
There's a line drive hit to right field. Good piece of hitting there by the freshman. And makes his way down toward first base. And Brockton's got a little 2-out lightning going.
Yeah, that ball was outside, Brian. And
he just went with it.
Jeremy just went with it and took it to right field. And now we got first and second with 2 outs. And that brings Michael Garcia, who started the game for Brocton, to the plate.
2 down now to Garcia. Garcia, the freshman, takes the first one outside. Ball 1. Once again, 2 down here. First and second. 0-1 to Garcia. There's one on the inside corner, 1-1.
If you're a CSP infielder, Brian, and the ball's hard hit on the ground, at the very least you want to knock it down here. And they've Brocton with a runner on second. You want to hold him at third if at all possible on a ground ball.
That was a pretty good pitch that Garcia fouled off right there. 1-2 to Garcia. He might want that one back. That one looked to be right down Main Street, and he just couldn't quite catch up with it. But we'll see what Austin's got for him here. 1-2 now, 2 down. and he fights it off over toward third. Tate should just have to step on the plate, and he wisely does. Good play over there by Tate. Put out number 2 for the inning for Tate as we get a ground out to the third baseman to end the second inning for Brocton. 2 hits, no runs, no errors, and 2 left on. So that's going to leave our score 10-0, CSP over Brocton. As we get ready to start the third inning, we will be right back.
The 8-9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned, Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Support for Wolfpack Baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided by Countertop Solutions in Clymer. Go Wolfpack from Countertop Solutions.
Support for Wolfpack Baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Sherman Livestock at 4150 Sherman Mayville Road. Cattle auctions are held every Tuesday and Thursday. Horse and tack are every third Saturday of the month. For more information, call 716-499-1362 and on Facebook.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me, I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
All right, as we return back to live action here in Brocton, as the Brocton Bulldogs continue to get warmed up here as we get ready to start the third inning, we're getting a lot of comments and positive feedback on the Facebook feed on the new camera. So kudos to Bryn Hinsdale specifically and Brian Silvis and everybody else who went into getting this thing put into action. It looks like it's 2 thumbs up. So as we think about playoffs starting next week, there is sponsorships available here, and if you're interested in sponsoring a telecast here and getting your name put out there during the middle innings and at the end of the games and stuff, reach out to Brian Silvas at Channel 98.9 in Corry, and he'd gladly get you on the sponsor dial here.
Yeah, we're looking forward to a long run in the playoffs, and as we commented earlier, it appears as though it's going to start Thursday, next Thursday, in Clymer at 5 p.m. We'll know who our opponent is. Well, at least we'll know the bracket tomorrow, yep. And we'll play a winner of probably a quarterfinal game that's going to take place on Tuesday. So
Bryce Hinsdale is going to lead it off here in the third inning for the Wolfpack. He takes the first one on the inside corner, strike 1. Once again, 10-0 CSP over Brocton here, top of the third. Nobody out, nobody on. Ball high, 1-1 to Bryce. First batter of the inning.
New pitcher for Brocton, Brian. It's Ryan Laredo, one of their 2 seniors.
Okay.
And so he's going to come in on in the top of the third in a little bit of a tough spot, down 10-0, and but he fresh inning here, so he'll see if he can be efficient and hold CSP to no runs.
And Bryce gets it up in the air a little bit too much. Second baseman's planted underneath it, and he's going to make the out. So that's going to be the first out of the inning for Bryce. That's going to bring up Gabe Roth. Gabe reached in the first, walked in the second, and this is now the third inning. We'll see what he's got in store for us here.
Bryce chased one out of the strike zone there, Brian. That was a high pitch, and as a result, tough to get on top of that as a hitter, and ultimately didn't, and popped it up. But so that brings Gabe Roth to the plate, and first pitch was a ball.
Yeah, big swing and a miss right there for Gabe on the high fastball. Couldn't quite get caught up to it. Once again, third pitcher we've seen today from Brocton, so we got all sorts of different speeds, which throws everything off for the batters. So I don't care. Makes it difficult. And now the wind's really picking up. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Gabe as he follows one back to the fence. It is a really pretty pleasant afternoon here in Brocton. It's just a little breezy from time to time.
Yeah, it's not all the time.
No.
Right? It's not very consistent. It just pops up every once in a while, but we'll take it.
It's one of those ones, if you're a golfer, you hate. What club do you hit?
Yeah.
2-2 now to Gabe. Speaking of golf, big tournament going on down in
South
Hills, it's in Tulsa. Hot out there, I believe.
Yeah, steamy there.
And swing and a miss, strike 3 for Gabe. That's the second out of the inning. The senior's got himself 2 quick outs here as he enters the game. He's going to bring Micah to the plate. 2 down here, top of the third, nobody on, 2 outs. A little 2-out lightning.
Really good crowd here today, Brian. Both CSP and Brocton both represented well. And looks like we're going to have a visit to the mound by the home plate umpire.
Talking about foot position or dancing a little bit out there on the mound, I think. He's got to get set before he comes home, and I think maybe he's just got to have a little bit of a pause. Maybe they're talking about that. Umpire Bankowski making sure he knows what's going on, so doesn't want to have to call something he doesn't want to call, so you give him a warning to start with, and then if he does it again, that's when you're going to get either the free base or the free pass to the second base. So on we go here. And Micah pounds one toward second base. Looked like it was hit a lot better than what it was, yeah. I thought. Sounded big off the bat and just kind of dudded out there. Pretty easy play for the second baseman. So that's going to go 4-3, and that's going to retire the Wolfpack 1-2-3 in the third inning.
Yeah, much needed inning for the Brocton Bulldogs, and after giving up 5 runs apiece in the first 2 innings, they go they go 1-2-3 in the third, and so results in entering the bottom of the third, 10-0 CSP here in Brocton, and looks like Austin White's going to take the mound. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Broadcast on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by J. Edwards Insurance. With offices at 9 East Main Street in Panama and 800 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, J. Edwards Insurance is an independent insurance service providing auto, business, farm, and homeowners insurance. We treat you like family. Online at jedwardsinsurance.com. Best of luck to the Wolfpack this season from J. Edwards Insurance, serving New York and Pennsylvania since 1957.
This broadcast on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is brought to you in part by Custom Shipping Products, located at 8661 Knowlton Road in Clymer. Custom Shipping Products is a provider of custom, new, and reconditioned pallets, crates, and boxes for shipping, warehousing, and packaging applications. Phone 716-355-4437.
Coverage of CSP Wolfpack Baseball is provided in part by White Land Surveying in Clymer, providing land surveys for clients in Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties in New York, and Erie, Warren, and Crawford counties in Pennsylvania. Call 716-499-8410 or visit online at mwhitepls.com.
Coverage of CSP Wolfpack Baseball play-by-play is provided in part by Damon Energy. Since 2019, Damon Energy has been serving southwestern New York and northwestern Pennsylvania with energy solutions for your residential and business needs. The Power Perks Rewards program as well as the Free Energy program are available for both electricity and natural gas. More info at damonenergy.com or phone Craig at 716-490-7694. Best of luck to the Wolfpack from Damon Energy.
And welcome back to Brocton as we get ready to start the bottom of the third inning here. At least one defensive assignment change here as Tate Catneys has entered the game from third base down to catcher. So that's going to put Micah, I think, on the bench. There he is.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Brian, if Coach Marino does try to move some players in and around up 10-0, knowing that this could only be a 5-inning game.
Yep.
And with it being the last game of the regular season, I would imagine Coach Moreno is going to want to try to get get a number of players in the game. But as we get started here in the lower half of the third, Brian, a big weekend coming up in the communities of Clymer and Panama. Panama's got prom this weekend, and we know that based on the Facebook posts, we know we've got some mothers who are at the school preparing for after prom that are listening to us. So we want to say hello to them, and thanks for listening. And then in Clymer this weekend, starting tonight at I think 7 o'clock, the Tulip Queen crowning and the Tulip Festival in Clymer. So if you're out and about, you want to stop in Clymer and take in the festivities, and I know there's a craft show and all kinds of stuff.
All sorts of stuff. Yeah, it kind of got started this afternoon actually with May Day.
Yep, that's right.
Congratulations to Carly Honey, who was this year's May Queen, and just really kind of snuck that in amongst the raindrops. I was down there, and it was threatening, and I'm sure everybody had an eye to the sky. But everything went off without a hitch. The third grade girls wound the maypole with no significant difficulties. One of the better ones I've seen, actually. So congratulations to all of them, and of course everybody that was involved. That's always a fun time. So as we turn back to baseball action here, it's going to be top of the order for Brocton. They're going to bring back Aiden Gatto, who's going to be the leadoff hitter for the third inning, and he's their overall leadoff hitter. And ball high from Austin White.
And I just looked in the dugout, Brian. It does look like Micah's got some ice on his right arm, so I don't know if that's a little tender or if he's a little sore, but don't want to risk anything here as we get into the playoffs.
And there's one hit pretty far to left field. Dylan Michael on his horse running into foul territory and just foul. Dylan had to run a long ways and just about made the play there.
Yeah, it was a great effort by Dylan. I thought he was going to lay out there.
I thought he was going to have another one of his
second.
acrobatic catches out there, but just out of his outstretched arm.
And I think, Brian, the positive is because we have this wide-angle camera, I think most folks were able to see that today. So that's a positive. But, with Micah getting hurt, Brian, this would have been a great opportunity or where we really miss Grant Lictus.
Yeah.
Grant's a really good catcher, and unfortunately he's got some foot issues that he's battling through. So he's been on the DL for most, if not all, the baseball season, and but that would be where you'd be able to mix and match Micah and Grant in the lineup.
In fact, I think we are just a little short in the catching position with backups, and it's the first time I think all year Micah's been out of the game. Everybody else has had their opportunity where they sat for an inning or two.
Yeah,
this is
right.
Micah's. So. And he did take a few off the arm the other night in Mayville against Chautauqua Lake, one specifically. And he woke up on Wednesday morning and said, or yesterday, it was pretty tender. So strikeout looking for Aiden Gatto. Austin White with a good pitch on the outside corner. And that's going to retire the first batter of the inning. So I'm not totally shocked that Micah's over there with a little ice on there. He was complaining about that a little bit. He took one off the chin, off the throat, off the arm, and the elbow. So a little rough night for him at Chautauqua Lake the other night.
And he got wet.
And he got soaking wet. So number 2
and
batter.
He misread a bunt sign.
Yes. And there's a bunt down the first base line.
Speaking of the devil.
Austin White quickly over. They got him. Bryce had to jump up for it just a little bit, but he got his foot planted back on. So I think there was a little disagreement on whether the Bryce got his foot down or not, but first base umpire and home plate umpire both agree the foot did get returned to the plate in time to get the runner out. That's a pretty good bunt and good hustle by the catcher, Ray Santiago, down the line.
That was a really nice bunt, Brian, and good job by Austin White playing his position, getting off the mound real quick, and made a good throw over to Bryce, and he got his foot on the bag.
So this is Caden Emke. High and inside for Caden.
Tate getting a little taste of catching today. I know for sure he's not done it for CSP this year. I'm sure he's done it in his career, but probably hasn't seen behind the plate in quite a while.
And there's one hit, kind of a stubby thing. Trent Burchanowski is going to retire that one. And that's going to be a fly out to Trent to end the inning, and then they go down 1-2-3 in the bottom half of the third. So that's going to remain CSP 10, Brocton 0 as we finish up the third inning. We will be right back.
Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned, Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
Support for Wolfpack baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Sports Stream is provided by Countertop Solutions in Clymer. Go Wolfpack from Countertop Solutions.
Support for Wolfpack baseball coverage on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided by Sherman Livestock at 4150 Sherman Mayville Road. Cattle auctions are held every Tuesday and Thursday. Horse and tack are every third Saturday of the month. For more information, call 716-499-1362 and on Facebook.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me, I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, CSP baseball fans. We're here in Brocton, New York, where it's 10-0 CSP, top of the fourth inning, and CSP is going to bring their 5, 6, 7 hitters to the plate. Trent Burchanowski, Curtis Olson, and Dylan Michael to face Brocton pitcher Ryan Laredo, who pitched a very efficient third inning and went 1-2-3 with a strikeout.
Yeah, as we talked, Laredo is a senior. Santiago, the catcher, is the 8th grader, and Santiago in the last inning tried to make himself, tried to get himself down the line and on a bunt, and he's got some wheels back there. So that's, like we said, good things for Brocton coming ahead here. As Trent gets ready to lead us off here in the top half of the fourth, and a little bit high, 1 ball, no strikes.
Trent with a double back in the first inning, a single in the second inning, and scored in both innings. So 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored for Trent today, and probably throw in a stolen base. So pretty all around good day for Trent so far.
2-0 now to Trent. And big swing and a miss for Trent on the off speed. A little bit out in front of that one.
There's the signature swing for Trent. It never holds anything back for sure.
It's pretty. There's one he reaches for, bangs it down toward third base. Third baseman's got it. Big arm over there at third. First baseman can't corral it though, so Trent's going to be aboard. As they thought maybe Trent missed the plate on the way through. I thought he got it pretty easily.
Well, I think he turned, Brian.
Did he?
Oh,
okay.
All right. After the bag, he turned.
He tried like he was going to try and make it to second?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to – that's probably a E3 there, Brian. That was a really nice play by the third baseman.
Yeah.
And he made a good throw and plenty time to get Trent. And
just the first baseman's glove over there.
Yeah, just had a little – issue at first base, and that gives us our base runner here in the top of the fourth.
Yeah, called strike on the outside corner, 0-1 to Curtis, who reached on a walk in the first inning and a single in the second.
Curtis routinely over the course of the past 4 or 5 games, Brian, really been hitting the ball well, and he reached on a base on ball in the first inning and single in the second. So continuing to improve that on base percentage.
And there goes Trent down towards second. Good throw by the catcher. Can't make the relay out there, though, and the ball kind of hops out towards center field, but not far enough away where Trent can advance. So he's going to be into second base with a stolen base.
Trent comes up a little lame, Brian.
Yeah.
He's holding that
right just a little bit.
Right shoulder a little bit. And, boy, that's the last thing we need before next week is to get a handful of people hurt.
Yeah, exactly. 1-1 now to Curtis. And 2-1 now.
We talked about it earlier in the broadcast, Brian, but we believe it's from our understanding from looking online and talking to Coach Moreno that a win tonight will give CSP the league title, which would be a nice, as you think about the beginning of the year and you think about some of the goals as a team that you want to accomplish, the first thing you want to do is win your league. And so with a win tonight, they can check that off the list.
Yes, and this ball gets away from the catcher. Curtis hustles down toward first, and Trent's going to make his way down toward third on the pass ball. So we're going to have first and third here. No outs, top of the fourth inning, and we're going to have Caden Beckrink entering the game now for Dylan, at least to hit. So we'll see what happens here with Caden Beckrink.
Caden, another lefty, just like
everybody else on the team.
We got a number of left-handers. Caden, a good hitter and with a lot of speed. So
there's one called on the outside corner. 0-1 to Caden. First and third situation, so you got to think that maybe Curtis is going to be taken off here at some point. There he goes. Caden was taken all the way. No throw to second. So 0-2 now to Caden. Puts two runners in scoring position for Caden. So now's the time to see if we can get that bat to go to work. And good stop by the catcher, as we do have a runner on third, kept him from scoring. And 1-2 now to Caden.
Caden injured for probably the first half of the year, and so he's just kind of getting into his groove, and he's played a handful of games here in the last couple weeks and performed very well, so he should be a real asset as we head into the playoffs.
And he hits it down toward first base, slow roller. First baseman's over. He's going to step on first and retire Caden, but not before Trent crosses, so that's going to be an RBI for Caden. Job well done there, young man.
Yep. That's the benefit, Brian, of at least in that situation, of the lefty up. Has a tendency to pull the ball, and anything to the right-hand side of the field there was going to score a guy from third base. So that brings up freshman Tate Catney's with one out here in the top of the fourth.
And that one sails high, 1-0. Tate now behind the plate on the defensive side as the catcher. And we were informed by his dad that that is a first all-time. Tate has never caught Little League, Babe Ruth, travel, nothing. So good experience for him here.
Yeah, it gives us a good option. Heaven forbid something happen in the playoffs to Micah. We know we've got at least a suitable backup.
2-0 now to Tate. And ball outside, 3-0.
Laredo, Brian, looks a little bit like he's trying to guide the ball in rather than just throw it. When he first came out back in that last inning, he just came out and was firing the ball, and a little sense of trying to aim this thing a little bit. Obviously we don't get a chance to watch him much, but in 6 or 7 or 8 pitches here that we've seen, he off just a hair from what he was last inning.
And Drake DiDomenico is going to enter the game in place of Ian Dunawald, at least in the batting order. We'll see what Drake can do. And he hammers one back toward the pitcher. Makes the force out at second. Drake hustles down the line and beats the throw over to first. But Drake does push across Curtis from third base. So that's going to be the second run of the inning. Tate's going to get swept off the pass via the tag out at second. And Drake's going to be on first via the fielder's choice.
Yeah, they're having a
umpire
little
and crew
conference
here is going
here.
to conference to see if the play. Yep. I think they wanted to make sure that either he pulled his foot or that he beat the tag. Must have been a foot pull because I don't think that they would appeal anything other than that.
Yeah, it was a close play.
Sure was.
Close play at first, and credit to Brocton. They turned that what almost was a double play really well. And Drake, good hustle by Drake to break up that double play. So we got a scores a run. CSP now with a runner on first with 2 outs, and Austin White at the plate.
Drake probably got just a little unlucky on that one because he did hit it so hard. Made it back to the pitcher, and that gave him time to turn around and get the force out at second. But he hit a lot of wood on that. There are a lot of metal, I guess it is these days. And Austin hits one deep fly to the gap between right and right center, and the center fielder comes over from his position and makes a nice play in front of the right fielder, and that's going to retire Austin. And the center fielder there, who we like so much, Caden Emke, comes up with another nice play out there.
Yeah, boy, he had a long ways
He sure did.
Long ways to run. That's the second at bat that Austin's hit the ball really hard, Brian. The last at bat, it was to the right fielder who made a great play, and then the center fielder there had a long ways to run and was able to make the snag. So good job by Brocton. They got out of that inning with CSP getting 2 across to make it. I think it's 12-0.
I think it is 12-0. The scoreboard here is showing 11, but
Yep.
I do believe we plated 2 runs that inning, which would make the score 12-0. And looks like Drake Domenico is going to stay in the game in right field. And Caden Beckrink's going to go into the left fielding position. I believe Gabe is staying in center. Everybody else looks to be back where they were at. So,
yeah, you might have commented on it last inning, Brian. Blake Kopta is now playing third.
Okay.
With that transition of Mike out and Tate into catcher, that moves Blake into third base.
I don't think I caught that. So okay, good. And Austin White is going to remain the pitcher here. So so much for the pitching by committee for today, which I thought we might see. Only because, the games have been a little scattered here, and our pitchers, while we have an abundance of them, nobody's had a really long, stretch of, wow, I got, 2 games in 4 days or something like that when I got a pitch, and we got to worry about pitch counts. And so some of these pitchers on our club would be top-line pitchers on other teams, and they're kind of buried down in the order just a little bit with us, which is a good problem to have.
Yeah, you got Tate Cadneys, who proceeded to throw a no-hitter, a 5-inning no-hitter against Westfield, a week ago, Brian?
Yeah.
Hasn't been on the mound, hasn't been back on the mound. Not that he's not capable of it. He just, to your point, it's just such a there's so much depth from a pitching standpoint. The one thing I would comment, Brian, is that to your point, I did think that Coach Moreno would may go one inning for their pitchers simply because of the long layoff.
Yeah.
They're not going to play for almost a week, and as a result, you're not getting you're some of these pitchers are not going to see the mound for in competitive action until probably next Thursday.
So that would probably lend itself to some simulated games on Monday and Tuesday, I would think, with some live pitching from some of the CSP staff, which should help the batters too. The long layoff, it's just the freak of the way that the schedule works out. And, when you don't see live pitching, that affects your bat potentially as well. So maybe on Monday and Tuesday they go to some kind of a live, session of some sort as we get ready to start the fourth inning here. And Ryan Laredo takes the first ball low from Austin White.
Laredo struck out in the first inning for Brocton and looks to get the Bulldogs leadoff runner here if possible.
The scoreboard's still saying 11. I still say it's 12. And he hits one to left field out toward Caden Beckrink there. Caden with the, yes, acrobatic catch in left field. He kind of overran it almost just a little bit and did a little half somersault, ended up on the ground, get a little grass stain for Mom to take care of, and record the first out. No problem.
Yeah, he wanted a little bit of the dramatic there, and he was able to. That ball was hit, maybe not quite as hard as Caden thought, and had a fair amount of distance to cover, and made a great catch out there to retire the first out of the inning.
And swinging a miss on a high fastball by Christian Garcia. And Caden, you'll see it, I'm sure, on the video. He's quick to raise his glove in the air and say, "Yep, it's right here. I got it." 0-1 now to Garcia. One down here, bottom of the fourth. And called strike on the outside corner. That's a real good pitch.
Yeah, it was a real good pitch.
0-2 now.
And what makes that a really good pitch, Brian, is that if the batter is able to put bat on the ball, it's just a weak grounder to first or second, first or second base, and so it really takes out the big hit out of the equation.
And that was the nasty high and tight one after the low and away.
Yep.
So Austin is moving it around pretty good today, inside outside, which is what you want. And ball low, 2-2.
Now, even though we're in the top of or bottom of the fourth, Brian, Austin has really not had a ton of pitches. Been relatively efficient in each of the innings.
Been a good outing thus far for Austin. Excellent. Big swing and a miss, strike three. Just like that. Two out, two down here in the top of the fourth, and Austin appears to be somewhat on cruise control out there. A couple singles in that second inning. Other than that, he's been really efficient. And a single to lead off the game. That's 3 hits. Scatter over 4 innings so far. And there's a hard hit down toward Bryce at first base. Gobbles it up, steps on first, and pretty efficient fourth inning for the Wolfpack there. Good play by Bryce down there, staying down on that ball and charging it, make sure it didn't take any crazy hops. Just like that. The Bulldogs end the fourth inning with the score CSP 12, Brocton 0. As we head for the top of the fifth inning, we'll be right back.
Podcast on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by J. Edwards Insurance. With offices at 9 East Main Street in Panama and 800 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, J. Edwards Insurance is an independent insurance service providing auto, business, farm, and homeowners insurance. We treat you like family. Online at jedwardsinsurance.com. Best of luck to the Wolfpack this season from J. Edwards Insurance, serving New York and Pennsylvania since 1957. Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane in Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
In baseball, these are the moments that bring us to our feet.
But the most important moment happens when we all stand together.
United for a great cause.
So join Major League Baseball and stand up to cancer
as we stand in honor of all loved ones affected by this disease.
I'm Jordana Brewster.
I'm Candace Patton.
Joe Manganello.
I'm Matt Damon, and cancer has in some way touched all of us.
Visit standuptocancer.org/MLB.
Stand up with us.
Coverage of CSP Wolfpack Baseball play-by-play is provided in part by Damon Energy. Since 2019, Damon Energy has been serving southwestern New York and northwestern Pennsylvania with energy solutions for your residential and business needs. The Power Perks Rewards program as well as the free energy program are available for both electricity and natural gas. More info at damonenergy.com or phone Craig at 716-490-7694. Best of luck to the Wolfpack from Damon Energy.
As we welcome you back to Brocton in the top of the 5th inning here. Brocton is going to go with change in pitcher. Going to bring out sophomore Grant Gustafson. He's a fairly tall drink of water there, Kyle.
He is a tall, skinny, tall, skinny kid, and those are typically some of your best pitchers, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that ball comes at you from about 4 feet away from the plate if they're doing it right. So we'll see what Grant's got in store for us here. We got a substitution as Bryce Hinsdale is going to be taken out in place of Julio Ramos. Julio takes the first one, ball one outside. Good breaking ball there. Julio chases it. One ball, one strike.
Julio not had a ton of playing time this year, but when he has gotten in, Brian, he's played relatively well. I think got in over at Gowanda and had a hit. Oop, almost got hit there.
Yes, he did.
Got a hit over in Gowanda. I think he got in and got a hit over in Westfield. So has been a productive hitter when he's had the chance.
He gets a lot of the bat on that one. Uh-oh. Just missed.
No, he pretty much hit it, Brian.
Did he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was well.
Wasn't a Volvo, was it?
It wasn't. It was a Honda.
Okay.
You know, it's only fitting. We started the year where we.
And Julio hits one to shallow center field. The center fielder's going to have to be on his horse. And Julio's in with a base hit. Just like that, as we were discussing, Julio, with the time that he has gotten, has been very productive, and he just showed it again there. That's going to bring up Tate Newman, who is going to be batting in place of Gabe Roth.
Hey, Bryn. What is the yellow circle in the middle?
And Tate with a good swing. Foul off the right. Good swing there.
I was commenting, Brian, that the first game of the year we hit a foul ball and smashed a windshield.
We
and
sure did.
We may have just done that in our last game of the year, or at least regular season. Some folks over there
Somebody's checking it out with a bright yellow shirt. I couldn't see it actually hit over there in these earphones. Much to people's surprise, you can't hear a thing. So there's a hit down the third baseline for Tate Newman, as he's going to advance down to first base on a well-hit ball down the third baseline. Good job, Tate. And we lead off with two singles here in the top of the 5th inning.
Yeah, that was a great at-bat for Tate, and that ball was well hit right between the third baseman and the third base bag. And so that gives us first and second here. With no outs and Blake Copta up to bat.
And a throw back. Make sure Julio's not peeking. So Blake Copta entered the game as defensive switch a couple innings ago. Actually, Blake playing third base when Tate came in to catch for Micah. So people getting in some time here that maybe they're at little positions they aren't quite used to a little bit. Strike on the outside corner for Blake.
Yeah, good to see a bunch of CSP players getting at bats. I would imagine, Brian, they'll see some of the field in the bottom of the 5th as well, and so that's good. Able to get some of those players in.
Blake fouls one straight back on the low fastball. 0-2 now to Blake. No outs here. Runners on first and second to Blake Copta. Score is 12-0. The scoreboard has now been corrected. 12-0 CSP over Brocton in the top half of the 5th inning. And there's one that goes behind Blake. Got to stick your backside out there, Blake. Take your base on that one, buddy. Easier said than done.
Yeah, easy for
me to say. Yeah, we don't have to ice the bruise later on. 1-2 to Blake. And Blake pops one way high. Way high. Catcher and the third baseman come together. And the third baseman kind of played dead there for just a second. It's got everybody looking at him, but the catcher came over, and he's the one that made the play. A little collision there, but everybody looks to be back on their feet and ready to play.
I could imagine him laying there, Brian, and saying, hey, is everybody looking at me?
Yeah.
I might just lay here for a little bit longer. But great play by the
eighth grade catcher once again.
Eighth grade catcher. You know, we're big fans of Santiago, and we're big fans of Emke, both young players right up the middle of this Brocton defense, and they will be around for years to come, and they'll be cornerstones, I would think, for the Brocton Bulldogs.
As Ashton Munson has entered the game. And Ashton takes ball one high.
Ashton got a big hit in last game, I think it was senior night, right, Brian?
Yes, it was senior night. Ashton, a senior out of Panama.
Ashton got a big hit to right field, and so looking to build off of that tonight.
And just a little bit behind that one, 1-1. Yeah, the crowd recognized Ashton after that hit too. Real nice round of applause after he got that on senior night. Real good for him. And a strike on the outside corner. And Julio's in under the tag as we steal third base.
Good wheels there by Julio. I don't know if that was planned steal or not, but he went and slid right underneath the tag.
Sure did. And Ashton gets a lot of bat on that one, but he's going to foul it off over to the tennis courts. So we'll reload it here. 1 ball and 2 strikes still to Ashton Munson.
Good job by Ashton staying alive, and now it counts 1-2. So anything close, Ashton needs to be swinging.
And they got him looking on the curveball. Good pitch there. So that's going to be the second out of the inning, and Andrew Nelson's going to enter the game. Andrew, another lefty off the bench. So we'll see what Andrew can do. 2 down here, top of the 5th inning. 12-0 CSP over Brocton, first and third. And takes one on the inside, ball 1.
Like to see Andrew get a hit here, Brian. He's been stymied a little bit on his at-bats. Made contact, but no hits officially in the book here, and be great if Andrew could get one here tonight.
1-1 on the outside. Andrew, obviously a team favorite, along with a bunch of other kids. Probably hasn't seen the field as much as some others, but his teammates are all cheering him on over there. They really enjoy being around Andrew.
Great kid, Brian. Junior out of Panama. Very active, swimming, cross country. I think he played football.
And there's a hit. First pitcher to first baseman's going to retire Andrew, but once again, he did get bat on the ball. Good contact hitter. But that's going to retire the Wolfpack 5th inning. As we get ready to turn the page to the bottom half of the 5th, and the score remains CSP 12, Brocton 0. And we'll be right back.
On the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream is provided in part by J. Edwards Insurance. With offices at 9 East Main Street in Panama and 800 West 3rd Street in Jamestown, J. Edwards Insurance is an independent insurance service providing auto, business, farm, and homeowners insurance. We treat you like family. Online at jedwardsinsurance.com. Best of luck to the Wolfpack this season from J. Edwards Insurance, serving New York and Pennsylvania since 1957. Funding for this Channel 98.9 Sports Stream broadcast comes from Lictus Oil and Propane and Clymer. Family-owned Lictus Oil and Propane continues to supply liquids and fluids for agriculture, industry, and homeowners. Heating oil and propane services and off-and-on diesel fuel services are also offered. The Channel 98.9 Sports Stream thanks Lictus Oil and Propane for their continued support.
In baseball, these are the moments that bring us to our feet.
But the most important moment happens when we all stand together.
United for a great cause.
So join Major League Baseball and stand up to cancer
as we stand in honor of all loved ones affected by this disease.
I'm Jordana Brewster.
I'm Candace Patton.
Joe Manganello.
I'm Matt Damon, and cancer has in some way touched all of us.
Visit standuptocancer.org/MLB.
Stand up with us.
Coverage of CSP Wolfpack Baseball play-by-play is provided in part by Damon Energy. Since 2019, Damon Energy has been serving southwestern New York and northwestern Pennsylvania with energy solutions for your residential and business needs. The Power Perks Rewards program as well as the Free Energy program are available for both electricity and natural gas. More info at damonenergy.com or phone Craig at 716-490-7694. Best of luck to the Wolfpack from Damon Energy.
All right, as we return to Brocton, as the score remains CSP 12, Brocton 0, bottom half of the fifth inning coming. So in order to get the game to continue, Brockton's going to have to manufacture at least 3 runs here, Kyle. Looks like CSP is going to stick with what got him here. Austin White takes his place out on the mound, so we'll see if we can't get Austin a complete game here.
Yeah, we thought maybe, Brian, they would put some defensive substitutions in. My guess is maybe Coach Marino looks at that and says, you know what, let's not risk any more injury. Let's see if we can get 1, 2, 3 here and get this game over in 5 innings. And CSP is going to face the 7, 8, 9 hitters for Brocton. But again, a win here tonight will secure what we believe to be the league championship for CSP, and will be step 1 in what I think is probably loftier goals for this baseball team this year.
Yeah, as we start the bottom of the fifth here, Brocton right away is going to have a substitution here, as number 8, Cruz is his last name. Brocton does have the last names written on the back of the jerseys, which is extremely helpful for radio guys.
Yes, it is.
And swing and a miss for Cruz, strike 1.
I will say, Brian, and I'm not a big fashion guy, but I love the Brocton uniforms.
Yeah.
I just think the combination of that green and the white stripes and the gray pants with a little white on, I think they look fantastic.
Tell you what, back in the day, they used to kick us around pretty good. Football and baseball and basketball, they've had some really fantastic athletes up here over the years. And, man, anytime you could beat a Brocton team when I was in school 30 years ago, that was you felt you'd really done something.
Yep.
And their colors, you're right. They've stayed the same. They haven't changed them, and they're just fantastic. Swing and a miss, strike 3 for Cruz. So he's going to take his place, and once again, we're going to get the freshman, Jeremy Weisner, coming to the plate. Big right-hander.
Want to wish a loyal watcher and listener, Jody Einig-Massing, a happy birthday today, Brian. I believe she might have been a graduate with you, or maybe
she was a graduate of mine with me. Yes, absolutely. I won't say what year to avoid her any
29
undue embarrassment. Yeah,
29
she's 29.
Today.
Exactly. 1 ball, no strikes to Weisner.
Somebody come. Weisner, the big young 9th grader, and 6'2", 245.
Sure he don't want to transfer to CSP or something? He's a big kid. Good pitch there by Austin. 2-1 now.
He's got more facial hair, Brian, than I've ever grown in my entire life.
Yeah, me too. Looks like Braden Cook out there almost. About the same dimensions. And a swing and a miss. Strike 2, 2-2 now to Weisner.
Weisner with a single back in the second inning. Hit a well hit hard ball to right field to get on base.
Good spot for that one. See if we get him to chase it. That's going to bring the count to full. 3-2 now to the freshman. Austin White again looking for the complete game here. One down here, bottom of the fifth, 12-0 CSP. Bases are empty. And a hard hit toward the right field line. It's going to drop in front of Drake DiDomenico over there. So that's going to be a hit to right field for the freshman.
Yeah, second hit of the game for him, and 2 singles, and that was right over Bryce Hinsdale's head. He thought maybe he could, he thought maybe overnight he grew a few feet.
He would have needed some feet and a stepladder to get that one. That was a pretty well hit ball.
It was. That gives Brocton the base runner here in the bottom of the fifth with 1 out, needing to score 3 runs here to keep this game alive.
That one,
one came right back at you, Brian.
Whew. Not gonna lie, I flinched.
I can confirm that, folks. He did flinch.
Didn't hit me. So this is going to be Michael Laredo subbing for Michael Garcia. Nate Laredo. And one off of Tate's mask. 0-2 now to Laredo.
First time that Tate's had that feeling. And
yeah. Now he knows what it feels like to have a foul ball hit you in the mask.
Yeah.
So quickly up 0-2 on Laredo, the batter, Austin White. Good pitch there. 1-2. That was a perfect spot, just out of the strike zone. Couldn't get him to chase it. But
that's right where you want to be on an 0-2 count, and I wouldn't hesitate, Brian, to go right back
there again. Austin has had excellent control today. We've seen him go inside, outside, high, low. That outside curveball's working good. He's just really had a good outing here. And another one hit to right field, just in front of Drake DiDomenico. Drake gathers it up. Throws it over, so there's 2 singles over to right field, and they have a little action going here with 1 out.
Yeah, they Brocton did this back in the second inning as well, Brian, and they kind of weren't able to produce any runs out of it. But we get to the top of the order now for.
Top of the order brings Aiden Gatto
for Brocton with a runner in scoring position.
And a hot shot over toward third. Blake promptly steps on third. Smart play there. Got the lead runner, second out of the inning. Good defensive play there for Blake Kopta, who has not had a lot of opportunities at third this year, but he made very good use of that one. That was a hot shot that he fielded very cleanly and just promptly stepped over on third base.
Yeah, that was a well-hit ball. Well-hit ball, Brian, and Blake touched third to get the lead runner, and that gives us the second out of the inning here with Ray Santiago up to bat for Brocton.
And that's promptly fouled just behind the Brocton dugout. Santiago, that 8th grade catcher, we've talked about him throughout the course of the game. He about legged out a bunt, and that's in the third inning here. So he does have some wheels, and he's got a pretty decent arm. And like we've said, look for good things from him in the next 4 years. 2 down now as Santiago calls timeout. 2 down now, bottom of the 5th inning. Runners on first and second. 12-0 is your score, CSP over Brocton. And ball inside. 1-1.
That was high and inside, but I think, Brian, what we've seen out of Austin through these first 5 innings is that he's been able to, those are purposefully thrown balls. Now he more than likely going outside here, which is what he was trying to do, and he's had really good command of his stuff all game and moving the ball around in the strike zone.
So that's going to let the runners advance on the pass ball. So now instead of first and second, we're going to go second and third. Still 2 down here. bottom of the 5th. Santiago still the batter. 2 balls and 1 strike to him now.
First time the base runner for Brockton's reached third base today, so they got a little bit of action here.
Santiago hammers one towards center, but should be a fairly routine play for Gabe Roth, playing the center field position very well today. And that's going to retire the Brocton Bulldogs in the bottom of the 5th inning. And that's also going to do it for the game here, as CSP is going to come out of here with a well-earned 12-0 victory. And we said at the top of the broadcast, Kyle, we were looking to have a clean game here and do some hitting and do some good fielding, and mission accomplished ×3 there.
Yeah, I would agree, Brian. We were, Austin had a great game on the mound, played error-free baseball again today, which has been kind of the hallmark for CSP. We were able to get some kids that had not had a lot of at-bats. They were able to get into the game, and so overall a really good, efficient day for CSP, and a way that you'd want to end the regular season.
Yeah, just a good bow tie on a really exceptional regular season, as we mentioned throughout the course of the broadcast. As far as we know, this seals the regular season for the CSP Wolfpack as the league champs. So congratulations, job well done. Coaching staff, players, obviously, administrations, transportation. It takes a whole community of people in multiple schools and multiple schedules and buses and everything to make this thing all work. And that's just not in baseball, but in football. And it's just really a credit to the commitment from all the schools to make this happen. And this is the byproduct of that.
Yeah, that's right, Brian. And that's, again, we've mentioned it. This is we believe that this is a pretty good baseball team, and it'll be exciting to see over the course of the next couple weeks what happens. But we believe we'll be the number 1 seed. We believe that we know that we'll be playing Thursday night in first round, or the semi. Well, actually, it'll be the semifinals.
It'll be the semifinals, yeah.
For the Class D championship, and that will be in Clymer at 5 o'clock. And as far as we know, we're going to be broadcasting that game, and whether it's we're going to find out over the next few days whether it's going to be audio and visual or just audio. But either way, we will be broadcasting that. So if you're out of town and want to take in the CSP game, feel free to listen to us. And but we're really excited. This has been a fun year so far. It's a great group of kids, a great coaching staff, and they're really good ball players. They hit the ball well. They play good defense. They have we've commented on it before. Really a fair amount of depth at the pitching spot, which is really important as we go through particularly the upcoming week, and so it'll be a fun ride, and just glad that we're part of it.
Yeah, and you mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. You put together your wish list of things, and one of the wish list items is the regular season champs. So check that one off the list, and seeding meeting tomorrow in Buffalo, and we will find out what matchup we will get the winner of, and we'll get that posted on the Facebook and get it around in the various social medias. And but as far as we know, we will be home on Thursday night in Clymer at 5 o'clock. So this is Brian Willink and Kyle Hinsdale live from Brocton on a 12-0 CSP victory on a pretty nice evening here in Brocton, and it's been great. We look forward to the playoffs, and we'll catch up with everybody on Thursday. Have a good weekend.
Broadcast of CSP Wolfpack Baseball on the Channel 98.9 Lictus Oil and Propane Sports Stream at channel989.org. This broadcast is presented by J. Edwards Insurance in Panama and James.